da sind wir wieder mit The Outer Worlds. Mit unserem Partner Sam und Pabati. So, wir haben hier noch ein paar Quests in der Stadt. Pillendöschen, aktivieren Auftrag. Aktivieren Auftrag, Pillendöschen. So. Aber hier durch die Stadt auch noch nicht alles durchgecheckt. Kennen wir uns? Stimmt, hier war ich schon, ne? Ah, hier war ich. Ja, hier war ich. Hier war ich doch. Oh nein.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Celia Robbins und Sanja Nandi.
Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Worum ging es in dem Gespräch gerade? Hast du Geldprobleme?
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Ist es normal für dich, dein Geld für Raptidon-Teile auszugeben?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid tea, or a mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Okay. Warum bekommst du so viele von diesen Sebastian? Wenn es dir so wichtig ist, Bit zu verpulvern, könnte ich dir auch irgendeinen Schrott verkaufen. Wir bleiben bei der 1.
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the
Bisschen?
strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Bitte ihn doch einfach um ein Date.
I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you
Vermittler
ask.
für die.
Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Ich rede später nochmal mit dir. Geh mal arbeiten. Hier, weil es mit dir ist, Sanja.
New business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
Okay, ich bin so wichtig. Okay, gut zu wissen. Das ist sehr großzügig von dir. Nein, du hast ein Meeting mit mir? Achso, nein, du hast ein Meeting mit mir. Ja, wir bleiben bei 2.
You hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake. Now, what business brings you here?
Bitte, ich habe mich selbst geschickt. Ich gehe dorthin. Okay. Suche eigentlich nach...
Hiram?
Mhm.
Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate.
Devil's Peak.
But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for salt tuna.
Hey, es könnte immer noch beides sein. Ich fürchte nicht, wenn ich noch ein einziges weiteres als Essen gibt. Das Forschungsprojekt in dieser... Genau. Sag mir einfach, wie ich den finden kann. Okay. Ja, komm, damit der nicht enttäuscht ist. Ich kann
Now,
auch beides
there's
da
no need to
sein.
humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Privatsache nicht, ob das, wenn du nicht mehr an die anderen Konzerne gebunden bist, wieso willst du sie zurückholen?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Du hast einfach genug vom Schnorren und so.
Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Ein gutes Argument. Was willst du denn?
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Die Lady weiß, wie der Hase läuft.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Schön und gut, aber wie willst du das anstellen? Wie lange hast du gebraucht, um auf die Idee zu kommen, dass eure Stadt verteidigt werden muss?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Dieses Bolt 52 klingt praktisch. Was ist das?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Wenn du das Bolt 52 hast, was ist dann der andere Teil deines Plans?
I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Dann hole ich mal den Bolt
Do be
52.
careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Klar. Manager. Nichts Besonderes. Okay. Bin nicht reingekommen. Bewohner. Yachtclub. Da komme ich, da ist das Ding, okay. 110. Ne, das ist jetzt eine andere Quest, ne? Tagebuch. Nebenaufgaben, alter Schwede. Pillendöschen. Schauen wir uns hier erstmal um. Ich sollte ja Pillendöschen beschaffen, ja. Dr. Williams. Oder die.
You ever think about what goes on in a marauder's head? Who was this sweet
Das geht nach draußen.
Error. Unable to process the specific customer
Quatsch
service
ich mit der.
request. Please.
Yo.
You're back. Good news? Bad news? All of the above? More
hab
or
deine
less dangerous
Wunderpillen.
than a steady supply of alcohol. Give it here. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's
Weil
go.
du so dich uns anschließt. Ich brauche keine Reisebegleiterin, sag mir einfach, wie ich den... Okay.
Great. Where to? Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said,
Okay.
three's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Ich habe ein Schiff an der Andockstation, falls du lieber da warten willst. Parvati geht zurück aufs Schiff. Wir brauchen jetzt erst einmal Lukas Hilfe. Ja, komm,
I
lieber
hope you
zum
like being
Schiff.
part of our crew, Neil.
A ship? Well, look at you. I'll find a spot there to call my own for now. Find me when you're ready.
Ja, geh mal rüber. Informationshändler. Okay. So. Next. Waffe aus der endlosen Leere. No. Begib dich zum Braxtons Apartment. Braxton war schon seit ein paar Tagen nicht auf der Arbeit. Ist das auch hier? Das ist der Tote, ne? Glaube ich. Schauen wir mal.
What's that smell coming out of Celia's apartment?
You again! You've really got to stop doing that!
So, nach Braxton, hast du ihn gesehen?
Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry.
Ganz ruhig, er steckt nicht in Schwierigkeiten. Ich möchte mich nur mal mit ihm unterhalten.
Oh, in that case,
Easy.
he told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick and he had some meds on hand. So maybe look for him there?
Das ist alles, was ich wollte.
Reminder, if you let your SAM unit be eaten by wildlife, it voids the warranty.
Sehr gut. Sehr, sehr gut. So. Das geheime Kämmerlein. Okay. Die Ratte aus Edelstahl. Untersuche Elijah und seine Gang. Ist das auch hier? In der Stadt. Stella Bay.
Reminder, unit modifications performed by unauthorized technicians are not authorized by the parent company.
Oh, don't be such a stickler. Doesn't
Hey, what are you doing here? This is our secret
Das
alley.
geheime Gasse, Junge.
Berta already pissed by those crates to market.
Ich weiß, dass du Isaac ermordet hast.
Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. Not that anyone has proof. And not that it's any of your business.
Schüchtern. Ich mache es zu meiner Angelegenheit.
Oh yeah? What are you saying exactly?
Du hast die Leute lang genug tyrannisiert. Wenn du weißt, was gut für dich ist, verschwindest du und kehrst nie wieder zurück.
Wow. Most of the pencil pushers around here cave as soon as you look at them funny. Fine, we're going. This ain't worth it.
Ja, Mann, zieht Leine. Hätte das Ding einfach auch hochjagen können. Dann wäre es vorbei gewesen. So, jetzt mit Isaac labern. Warte mal, das war Punkte verteilen. Ja. Komm, lang Waffe. Bam. Für Sekunden nach jeder Tötung kein Fahnenkreuzschwankung. Vorteile. 40 Kilogramm Teile von Begleitern. Bonus Damage auf Kopf und Schwachstellen. Yo, Sanja.
A fine day for business, isn't it? Anyway, what can I do for you?
Isaac Rose ist tot. Ich habe seinen Mörder gefunden.
But that's terrible. What happened?
Son Elijah und seine Hooligan-Freunde. Ich habe sie aus der Stadt vertrieben.
I'm glad to hear you've dealt with them. They've been causing quite a bit of trouble around town. I've been consumed with other matters of late, but I would have dealt with them eventually.
Natürlich hättest du das.
Of course I would have.
Of course, Sanja.
Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider this payment for your services.
Mehr, aber okay. Ich habe Fragen zu MSI und okay, ich habe Grimm, die Wache vom Landeplatz, getroffen.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
Es war eine Glanzleistung. Der Typ ist ein Depp. Ja, es war eine Glanzleistung.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
Das kann ich sonst noch für dich tun. Ich habe Fragen zu MSI und der guten alten
Then it's
Zeit.
good that I keep such meticulous notes.
Wieso wurde MSI überhaupt aus dem Vorstand geworfen?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Okay, meinst du, dass ihr euren eigenen Ausschuss herbeigeführt habt? Alle mit Weile, Sir. Okay, darum kann man keinen Konzern mit der sogenannten Satzung trauen.
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1.
Ja, meinst du, Teller 2 verstehe. Der Vorstand hat seine besten Leute eingesetzt.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
Aber nicht MSI, was?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Ich nehme an, deine Bosse waren von der Idee nicht sehr angetan. Um den Vorstand mit seinen eigenen Mitteln zu schlagen, clever. Ich höre dauernd uns und wir. Wer soll das sein?
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
Doch ihr seid noch hier.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Sie wissen, wir müssen, dass sie nicht herausfordern kannst. Wieso haben sie das getan?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Das ist die Gefahrenklausel. Was ist die
It's a legal
Gefahrenklausel?
provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments.
Das hat man auf Monarch angewandt. Du klingst skeptisch, das klingt eigentlich noch eine...
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
Wieso willst du eigentlich zurück in den Vorstand?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon. To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Freut mich für dich. Zwinge sie an den Verhandlungstisch.
I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And I don't mean to leave MSI or its people at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
Genau.
What can I do for you?
Nichts mehr. Okay. So, was haben wir noch hier? Eine Familienangelegenheit. Suche nach Tucker Needham in Amber Heights. War das hier? Ne, ist auch draußen. Ups. Herricks Streik. Berichtet Caleb, dass Velma verhandeln will. Caleb. Ach ja, das waren die Typen, die mehr Kohle wollten. Yo, Caleb.
Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell and revel with us?
Wir müssen über Velma sprechen, Junge.
Got an update for us? We can't afford to sit this out for too much longer. Know what I mean?
Velma hat dem Geld unterschlagen. Sie erhöht eure Gehälter im Gegensatz für mein Schwein.
Well, I'll be a Raptidon's dinner. Reckon I ought to listen to gossip more often. As agreed, here's your compensation. Ain't a lot, but I hope it shows how much we appreciate all you've done. Now me and my friends here better get back to work before Velma blows a fuse.
Genau das. Ja, nice. Quest nach Quest abgeschlossen. Ja, auf geht's, weiter geht's. Der Bruder Grimm. Liefert das Fußballposter an Grimm. Yo, Grimm.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet?
Siggy,
Would you
is
look
it?
at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was going to spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
Chillig. Kritische Lösung. Finde Captain Arion auf Skilla. Dr. See meinte, dass sich Captain Arion vermutlich irgendwo auf Skilla befindet. Was ist hier raus? Achso, das ist die Perle. Berge den fehlenden Zugangscode.
Oh, it does work. I bought some musk from Sebastian to cover up the salt.
Kann man hoch. Plasma-Karabiner.
Entering quiet mode.
Hm. Wo ist das denn? Ah. Ach Sam, hör auf jetzt damit. Oh, da kommt er nicht hoch. Der Sam. Den verstehe ich nicht. Ist der vielleicht außerhalb? Schätze ich mal, oder? Ah ne, der ist da. Oh Leute, jetzt blutiger Zettel. Ein zerklitterter Zettel gefunden bei einer Leiche in Stella Bay. Das Großteil des Textes dieser Notiz ist blutverschmiert, aber du kannst die Worte Lilie und Code finden. Catherine.
Grease stains detected.
Es geht raus. Okay. Bolt. Der leere Mann. Das geht auch raus. Blumen für Sebastian.
Traveling on
That's
an
a
organic.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Reden wir über Celia.
Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that raptidon acid is working out. I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested in this stuff.
Würdest du mit ihr ausgehen?
Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm?
Oh, no, that's not it at all. She's smitten with you. You smited her. Smote? Smoot?
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for raptidon tongues.
Du musst es mir auch nicht glauben. Verbringe einfach ein wenig Zeit mit ihr. Ich verspreche dir, dass sie dich nicht nach einem Rabatt fragen wird.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice.
Give her a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take her someplace nice.
Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
That's the spirit, Sebastian. Be yourself. Between you and me, Captain, I'm not sure Miss Celia knows him too well. But we can hope, right? I want them to be happy.
Sehr gut. Red aber vorhin über ihn. Perfekt. Oh, Celia.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he
Er hat
say?
gesagt, er geht auf ein Date mit dir. Bam.
Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing to it? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia? I've secretly been waiting for this, or was it more, sure,
Hör
I don't
mal,
have
das ist
anything
deine
else going on.
Chance. Genieße es und hinterfrag es nicht weiter.
Oh, I will. Now I've just got to figure out which jumpsuit I'm wearing and how I'm fixing my hair, or maybe I should go with a casual look? Ah, look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back to
Genau
work
das.
look. Anyhow, thank you.
Kein Problem. So, back zum Schiff. Die alte holen. Austauschen für Parati und dann ja. Laufe ich richtig? Ja. Nein, laufe ich nicht. Verdammt. Ich muss hier hin. Against all odds, the unreliable takes flight. Komm schon. Parati, wo ist die denn? Da ist sie doch.
Hey, shit'll get off the pot, damn it. Are you listening in there? You can't be hogging the facilities for 40 damn minutes. You ought to see Ellie. You got a condition or something. Oof, being on a ship sets my stomach to turning. Hey, Cap.
Alter, ich hab sie sofort rekrutiert.
I'm
Perfekt,
still...
Digga.
Shit. Look at me dredging up bygone...
Ja, scheiß drauf, Digga. Modifizieren dürfte zerlegen. Wurfballblocker. Und sie war 205. Vortex-Streitkolben. Fette Waffen, ey. Schön aufpimpen. Mr. Ouch. Mika und Sam. Jetzt machen wir mal hier ein bisschen mehr Action, nicht nur Gelaber. Dissenters in our midst. New Yorker müssen wir erstmal ausstatten. Ja. Das geile Waffe, leichtes Maschinengewehr. 800. Nicht schlecht. Fraktionsauftrag.
Unit's air purity sensors are indicating a lethal level of inebriation emanating from a nearby organic source.
Please, you think this is bad? You ought to get your sensors recalculated.
Sam ist schon nice.
Seen me drunk.
Lustiger Dude. Lustiger Dude. Tossball Series. Irgendwie Smithers.
Can we talk?
Nö. Na, komm.
Hey, got a favor to ask you. Figure while we're out here in the wilderness anyhow, we might stop in on an old friend of mine. Preferably before we get to Hiram's. It's on the way, don't worry. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use the help.
Danke für das Kompliment.
I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it. Every time I give someone the opportunity to disappoint me, they seem to make it their most immediate goal. But this, what I'm thinking, it's dangerous.
Ich fühle mich geehrt.
Really? Here I was steeling myself for inevitable rejection. I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up the pieces. I haven't seen 2 of them in years, and the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same places, like the family we once were.
Okay. Was brauchst du dafür?
First, we go to Hayes. I buried him a ways from our encampment. I need to pay my respects. I'll show you where he rests. He had a medallion in his effects. That's what I'll bring home to Barry.
Okay. Und danach?
Then we find my 2 lost trackers and bring them home. A long time ago, we built an encampment in one of Monarch's cave systems. Trouble is, a mannequin showed up and kicked us all out. If we can find Rebecca and Anders, they'll know how to lure her out. Then we kill the bitch and bury everyone's medallions together.
Okay, klingt nach Spaß.
Thanks, Cap.
Das ist eine etwas größere Karte.
Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of it stinking like fish instead.
Deploying odor neutralizing aerosol spray now. That will leave us there.
And that's how it's done, Captain.
Bye, bye. Ist weit weg. haben wir Schönes?
Muting volume now.
Ich sag mal gar nichts, Alter. Don't mess with us.
Down you go.
Starke Waffe. Gott, hat denn alles.
Neutralize and sanitize.
Stimulation, Alter. veralbere dich nur. Wer ist da drin?
Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Manta Queen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here, and, now the door's locked. Little help?
Ja, okay.
Easier than it sounds, alright? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions. Phew.
Tja.
Thanks, mister. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross.
Wo du schon eingesperrt bist, kannst du mir ein paar Fragen beantworten?
Sure. Beats not answering questions.
Bist du eigentlich öfter in Lagerräumen eingeschlossen?
My buddy locked me in here. I told you that. It was for my safekeeping, on account of Raptidons wanting to munch on my head. But, I mean, okay, yes, fine. I get myself into sticky situations. It's just part of the life, alright? Sometimes you gotta hide in a trash can so you don't get eaten by monsters.
Genau.
Oh, probably. I don't know. When I try to read things, my mind gets to wandering about all the things I could be doing instead. Get me out of here! What do you mean? It's locked. Get me out!
150. Ja, sicher. K.O.-Riegel, alles klar. Werkbank. Kaugummis oder so. Ich kann hier schlafen, perfekt. Bits. Adreno. Einfach leer. Perfekt. Der hat dich auf jeden Fall nicht. Der auch nicht. Hier, ja, stimmt. Er hat den Schlüssel. Naja, ich bin ja auch aufgestiegen. Langwaffen 100 wäre. Ja, komm, scheiße. Wir gehen auf Langwaffen-Experte, Junge. Njaka. Muss irgendwas dabei sein, was dir gut Rüstung gibt. Das. Okay.
Phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die. Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind.
Normalerweise zeigt man sich erhältlich für eine Minute. Sicher, dass du so reisen kannst?
Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy, and hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend?
Ja.
Thanks a lot, mister.
Da war viel Glück. So. Hätten wir das erledigt. Huxley, dies, das. Ja. Und es geht weiter. Auf jeden Fall. Aber erst in der nächsten Folge. Haut rein. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.